version of that truck, autographed by Jeff Hardy.
I know why Hermie Sadler stayed out. For that reason right there.
That was
so
it?
You would just say everything that you did. If he comes to pit road right now, to make perfect sense to me, he wanted to get his Shop TNA truck on TV, and he accomplished that.
Hermie Sadler scored as our leader after lap 39.
And he is coming down pit road.
As predicted, when Phil gave him all his props, he came to pit road. But Hermie led the race.
You think in the pits they were watching TV when I said that? So come on in now, Hermie. We're good.
We're set now, Hermie.
So
that is a beautiful truck, though, isn't it?
It really is.
That's going to put the field back into the hands of Austin Dillon, who won the race off of pit road, just nosing out the 81 of David Starr, who will restart second. Kyle Busch is third. Todd Bodine fourth. Eric Almirola is the fifth truck that will go across the start-finish line. Now take a look at the weather. 81 degrees, mostly cloudy, but right now the sun is beating down on this racetrack.
Blue skies straight over ahead. Looks like some weather still off to the west, off turn 3 area, but certainly clear right now. We'll be able to race for a while for sure.
Let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, everybody's hoping that this racetrack makes a big swing and a change. It should loosen up with the heat right now. Air temperature very warm, and Danny Stockman is hoping that is the case, because on the last pit stop, they put the air pressure back the way they started so that his truck was just a little bit tight. Talking about Austin Dillon, he did go to the care center and get his right eye worked on to get that little speck of Speedy Dry pulled out. Krista?
Mike Skinner has his eye on his first Michigan win. Right now, a very good truck. He started back in 19th. We documented that that's not a typical qualifying run for Mike Skinner, but he's all the way up into the top 10, thanks in part to a great stop by his crew when they came down back before that brief red flag came out.
You know, these guys are going to be interested to see what these trucks do for a few laps here. Obviously, I don't think the rain was enough to change the track a great deal, but that sun shining down, that could make a difference in the way trucks handle. But I believe, Phil, Austin Dillon will show he had the best truck before the rain, and he's going to have the best truck afterwards.
A lot of the Toyota guys said, I hope it gets really hot and slick, because then that maybe aerodynamic and drag advantage that the Chevrolets have will go away.
David Starr is starting on the inside. Austin Dillon chose the outside. David Starr did some pit strategy to get toward the front. He's coming to the green.
Green flag back in the air. David Starr on the inside. Austin Dillon takes the green way to the bottom of the racetrack.
That's like Nelson Piquet Jr., isn't it? He didn't get going.
Did not get going. Looks like I don't know if he couldn't get it out of second gear or missed a gear, but
he's up to speed now.
It appears as though he's getting up to speed now. Meanwhile, we're at least 3 wide
as they go through turn number 2 down the backstretch. It's a drag race once again. Austin Dillon on the outside, and here comes that 18 of Kyle Busch once again. Let's see who has the momentum going into turn 3.
Remember, all these drivers have fresh tires that should be able to hold them down. We're riding with Todd Bodine. I didn't hear him back off. Did you, Michael?
No, and Austin Dillon has been able to hang on the outside of Kyle Busch. No, but at the last minute decided that Kyle maybe wasn't going to give him the track. Let off the gas and pulled in behind Kyle. What great racing we have. Look at these trucks.
Door to door for Eric Almirola and the 30 of Todd Bodine. Now Bodine surges forward. Now the 5 of Mike Skinner on the outside. And here comes Ron Hornaday in the 33 on the inside.
Yeah, Todd Bodine surged forward because of that push from that 5 of Mike Skinner.
What about Skinner? Raced up from his 19th starting spot. He's up to the 4th spot. Didn't feel like he had a fast truck, but he had a good handling truck, and that's paying off now, especially in the draft. If you can keep your foot on the floorboard in the turns and then use that draft down the straightaways, that's going to make up for quite a few of your problems in the speed range.
And the 15 at the start having problems for Nelson Piquet Jr. Krista, what was the issue?
Yeah, if you're watching, you probably wondered what happened. The only thing Nelson Piquet Jr. came on the radio and said is that the gear shift got stuck. He then added, I don't know what happened.
Gear shift got stuck. Here's a battle for the lead. On the outside, it's Kyle Busch, but Austin Dillon trying to take it away from him on the inside.
Todd Bodine is going to push that 18 truck of Kyle Busch. Let's see if he can get up close enough to him to make a difference as they get down to turn number 3.
Dillon on the bottom of the racetrack. A little wiggle there as he gets into 3. Kyle Busch also a little wiggle up on the high line.
Those trucks are dancing around a little bit. They may be running wide open or all but it, but it's work.
You've got to understand how hard this is, what these guys are doing. Kyle Busch sideways in the turn. Todd Bodine pushing his truck right up to the back end of Kyle Busch to try to use the draft to get around the 3 truck. It appears the 3 truck is faster on the straightaways, and those 2 Toyotas are working together to hold them off.
Todd Bodine now battling for the second spot, trying to take it away from Austin Dillon as they go down the backstretch.
And that's not a bad place for Austin Dillon to be, is between, right around in the middle of Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine. So much experience there. He is learning so much this year. Had such a great run last week and trying to go back-to-back with good runs.
Here comes Bodine back on the outside, trying to get by that 3 of Austin Dillon to take away the second position. Dillon all the way down to the apron as he crossed the stripe, not able to keep the momentum up, and he stays back in the 3rd spot.
He just was no match for that draft that Todd Bodine was getting off that 18 truck.
Nelson Piquet Jr. Again, he had a problem at the restart. Let's take another look at what happened.
He really bunches up the field. He's about the 6th row back on the inside. He takes off and then looks like he ran up on the back of the 31 of James Buescher. And I don't know if he got it hung in gear or missed a gear or whatever, but people had to go every which way to get around him.
See here, he just tries to drive up on the back of Buescher, and just maybe when he tried to go from 2nd to 3rd with that good start, the fact that Buescher didn't go confused him and messed up his shift pattern. They might have gotten stuck between gears.
Timothy Peters got by the 88 of Matt Crafton. There's Mike Skinner just in front of Timothy Peters. Here's another battle for the lead. This time it's Todd Bodine trying to take the spot away from Kyle Busch.
Got Toyota versus Toyota here. The Germain Racing Toyota on the inside and the Toyota on the outside.
Kyle Busch Motorsports already has a victory in 2010 as an owner driver.
Well, Kyle Busch is making a milestone start here today. It's his 75th start. Won 18 races in those 75 starts, so certainly we understand how strong he is, but never has won here at Michigan. Now these trucks on the bottom are going to try to draft by Kyle Busch.
Now we see Austin Dillon working with the 30. We'll see if they can both clear the 18. Todd Bodine is well clear. Now Austin Dillon's going to slide up the racetrack, try to get in front of the 18 of Kyle Busch. He'll take 2nd away. Right.
Guys, when I listened to the one practice that we had yesterday, I heard Kyle say that just as he exited turn 2, he had to lift a little bit just to get the feel back in the steering wheel that he wanted. But Todd Bodine ran 14 or 15 laps in yesterday's practice, never coming off the throttle. So they've got that Germain Toyota dialed in to where Todd can keep the hammer down all the way through the center of the corner. I think Kyle's having to lift just a tiny bit, and that's the difference right now of why the 30 was able to get out front.
Listen to the throttle.
He's pedaling just ever so slightly.
And the 18 bobbles a bit, but he still gets to the inside of the 3 of Austin Dillon, trying to take 2nd away.
You see Todd Bodine moving around, trying to break that draft. We heard Ron Hornaday talk about that, moving around on the straightaways to try to not allow those trucks to draft off you.
Austin Dillon, we talked about it, Phil, before we had the rain delay. The track was cloudy and Austin Dillon was driving away. Now that the sun's shining on it, he isn't quite as good as Todd Bodine. I think, though, if he could ever get clear of one of these guys or both, he might still be able to drive away. But right now, Todd Bodine, with his foot on the floor, is making the best time.
You know, I was talking to Kyle Busch actually right after he got done qualifying. You see him get sideways a little bit off of 2, and I was asking him, I said, what keeps you from running wide open longer? He said, I can do it 5, 6, 7 laps, no problem. He said, my truck actually gets a little bit loose. When it gets off the corner, it gets a little bit loose. And that's what keeps him from running that truck wide open. He said he'll back off a little bit in the center of the corner, let the truck settle down a little bit, kind of get pointed in the right direction, and then get back in the throttle.
Halfway.
And that means that this race would be official, although we have had sunshine since the rain stopped here. So we don't expect, or we hope, that we don't see any more precipitation. Here's a good battle for the 7th spot. Timothy Peters trying to take it away from Matt Crafton. Yes. 6th position. That's right. 6th and 7th running side by side.
Great battle. Matt Crafton's been strong this entire race. You say Elliott Sadler making his way back towards the front. Remember, he got the waiver on. Now he's running up in the top 10 with some really good trucks right now.
Johnny Sauter just in front of him in the 13. Mike Skinner down on the bottom of the racetrack in the 5. Riding along with Johnny Sauter.
Mike Skinner right down against the white line, and Elliott Sadler up against the outside wall.
2 completely different lines around this racetrack, and we have seen 4 wide already today.
You see Hornaday, he just got past Bomberola down in turn 3 and 4. He was beside Austin Dillon. It looked like the truck got loose. Watched them both up the hill. Let's see if we can see what happened. See, Hornaday gets a little bit wiggly, little sideways, and
Has to chase it up the hill a little bit, then finally just pulls in behind. But look at the run that Eric Almirola had when he came off the corner.
Had to avoid, went high, was able to get by that 33 of Hornaday. So Eric Almirola moves up into the 4th spot. Hornaday back in 5th.
That last lap, 7 positions in the top 10.